Okay, so the thing that was trending and will probably trend through the rest of today and forever is the fact that while in Indianapolis, not a lot to do, which is why Pat McAfee being there is brilliant, because he got LeBron James to sit down for over an hour. And this thing had everything. They talked about everything. They talked about conspiracies. They talked about MJ. They talked about Brian Windhorst for some reason, and then, of course, the Stephen A. Smith stuff. So let's just start wherever you want to start. What did you think about it?
First of all, it's really cool. I think that he did this on a game day.
I know.
He recorded it the day before.
I think they recorded it Tuesday and aired yesterday.
The fact that he did that, and again, we can knock social media and all these different podcast stuff, but as a fan, this has got to be awesome to see one of the greatest players, LeBron James, sit down, uncut, unfiltered. I've never heard the guy curse that much. I've never heard him speak like that ever. So it was fun to see him in that element. And Pat does such a good job with getting guys to be comfortable and makes it in a fun, silly way. But it was great. And I understand where his frustrations. Listen, Stephen A. Smith, he makes a boatload of money. We all have our opinions on him, but and he can.
Do we? What do we have?
He can irritate you. He breaks news in a different, unique kind of way, which I think separates him. But
hold up. He doesn't break news. He makes himself the news.
Okay, fine, yeah, sure. And as a player, listen, I'll tell you a story. When I was in Dallas and I was on my first max deal, Tim McMahon, who's my guy now,
sure.
I'm cool with him now. My best friend at the time, Pasha, literally almost beat him up in the tunnel because every single time I would do something, he would cover it. He would tweet something that was just passive aggressive. He would tweet something negative. Then I'd have 25, and he would literally write, "Finally, Chandler Parsons has 25." just a dick. Just a jerk. And like
God,
that,
LeBron, settle down with the language.
Yeah, and my bad. And he would just crush me. So, and again, as a player now on the media side, I get it. As a media member, you're trying to do your job. You're trying to report the news. You're trying to break the news, and you have your opinion on it, which is whether it's right or wrong. As a player, you hate that. You hate that this guy who never played, who never could touch you on the basketball court, who never had any sort of success that you had, has this opinion on you, and it's always negative. And then when it crossed the line of personal about his son and his family, there are boundaries and there are ways to do what we do. So I see both sides, because now on this side of it, I do the same thing. I just answer the questions that are on the call sheet, and
sure.
Sometimes that pisses players off.
Love that you call it a call sheet. That's cool.
Is that what it's called?
Nope. Run down.
Like Kyle Kuzma has this thing with me because I talk about his outfits, but I'm just doing my job, answering questions. Like I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna hate on Kyle Kuzma today.
You're not personally attacking.
No, never. You're literally just doing it. But I understand that as a player. So again, LeBron, everything with his family is I think there's boundaries and there's lines that clearly he thought were crossed.
But they weren't. So let's start there.
What do you think on it? We got no Lou today. We need you.
I find it. First of all, this feels like a WWE situation at this point. And
it feels a little Logan, Jake Paul.
There's no coincidence. It's Pat McAfee, who is now one of the faces of WWE, all right? He's hosting this. LeBron James goes on there for over an hour on the very network where the dude he confronted in public also is the highest paid guy on the network. All of it feels fake to me. Within 5 minutes of this thing becoming public, Stephen A. Smith is now putting out videos. And by the way, I will say this, LeBron James calling Stephen A.'s situation right now, basically he's on a Taylor Swift tour.
And Whitey Tighty's got me too.
Chef's kiss. He is. That video was one of the greatest things that ever happened to Stephen A. because he has milked it and he's gone on every network and outlet and continues to talk about it. Now, when you start talking about how you're going to get physical, bro, we've all seen the boxing video. Don't say stuff like that out loud. Like it's bad. It's not a good look. And LeBron had a couple zingers on that as well. And what you're asking me to do right now, Chandler, is choose between two people that I don't want to choose. And so I kind of feel like, wow, we have entered a really weird realm. I think where LeBron lost a lot of people from yesterday's interview, because of the Stephen A., who cares, right? But when you go after Brian Windhorst,
who's had his back,
who's been covering him since he was a kid, since he was like a high schooler, I didn't really get it. It felt unprovoked, unnecessary, a bit bullying, I guess, if you will. And you see quickly very much how much Brian Windhorst is loved in this industry, because I've seen everyone from the guys over on NBA radio to Amin El-Hassan, like everyone's picking up for Windy because. Why, dude? Why are we picking on Brian Windhorst?
Yeah, throughout my whole career, I thought this was LeBron's guy. This was his guy that's always repped him. He always speaks very, very highly of him. Like, you never see him poo-poo on LeBron. Like, it's always very positive in a way. And obviously, I thought he was literally on LeBron's like staff like my whole career because he literally was so.
He was on the watch.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't love that either. But also, I again, as a player, I know you hold on to every little thing a media member says. You don't, like, I remember on draft night, Jay Billis said, Chandler Parsons, 38th pick, he'll make a lot of money overseas. Can't stand that ever since then. Like, I mean, like,
But you did make a lot of money over here.
Yeah,
so
but you know what I mean?
great.
I don't forget that, though.
Why would you?
Well, call it petty, call it whatever. Like, even as much as we got going on, you don't forget when people hate on you. You don't forget when people doubt you. And as a media the member now too, I'm seeing both sides of that.
You also can't backtrack, and I think that's what's also been a little bit embarrassing about all this, especially since the public conversation. You've seen now the Taylor Swift tour. There's a lot of backtracking going on as well. The whole thing, again, as an outsider watching it, it's laughable, but not in the fun comedy way. Just sort of in a roll your eyes way.
Like,
and I hope it's almost over.
I feel like there's going to be like a sit down now between LeBron and Stephen A. Smith.
God.
It's going to be
Are there
the
gonna be
most watched
tears?
interview ever. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, it's
there's
just, I don't know. And I think it's real. I think LeBron definitely can't stand the dude, and I think a lot of people can't stand the dude.
Oh, that's
but
fair.
Again, I see both sides.
Good for you for being enlightened.
Listen,
I wish it would all
man
end
of the people.
now. Mend it.
You want to see him box or something? You want to see him?
I can't tell you how embarrassing and fun that would be to watch. Because when you see an unathletic endeavor done by an unathletic person, that's comedy. That's the comedy I can get behind.